Why does Joan Crawford's life and career deserve a reevaluation almost a half-century after her death? She was among the motion picture elite who reached the pinnacle of film stardom. Accordingly, a flood of books has appeared chronicling her life and career. Few of her biographers, however, have dealt critically with the drive that propelled her forward, or her difficult personal life beginning as a child, which became more complicated during the gyrations of her acting career and following her decision to become a mother. Lacking, too, has been a sequential examination of her films, looking closely at the strategy of producers and Crawford herself that allowed her to win her stardom and sustain it for decades. Her films have been widely discussed, but primarily from the point of view of narrative. A broader spectrum of inquiry will look at the details of her work. Why was she cast in particular films? Who were her co-workers on screen and behind the camera? And how did financial results, good or bad, and always carefully scrutinized, affect the type of roles she was offered? As a film star of the first order, Crawford was essential to the Hollywood motion picture enterprise of the 20th century. Adolph Zukor established 100 years ago that it is stars who bring audiences into theaters, and that box office revenues, whether we like it or not, are one of the main indicators of a film's success. To be sure, many great movies generate modest revenues, but the industry relies on hits, popular with the public, to fuel new productions. An oft-repeated quip of unknown origin, and referring to MGM in the 30s, goes something like this. Shearer got the prestigious productions, Garbo supplied the art, and Crawford paid for them both. It is not exactly true. Most of Norma Shearer's pictures made money, and Garbo had a single bust with Conquest. But the point is that Crawford was a goldmine, and her film revenues routinely outstripped her studio rivals. It took 4 years in Hollywood before Crawford was accorded the status of a movie star. She began humbly, as one of many prospects signed in 1925 to a 10-week contract paying $75 a week. During those years, she worked hard to learn her new trade. There is nothing in Crawford's early screen appearances that suggests the legendary persona that would captivate audiences for decades, beginning in mid-1929. Her looks changed, her personality changed, even her name changed. Crawford and her MGM contemporary Garbo both began their MGM careers in 1925 as attractive 19-year-olds who matured, through the passing of time and the magic of Hollywood, into sensational beauties. Garbo had an advantage, arriving from Sweden as a protege of a famous director, and was immediately given top stories and the best directors and cameramen under the watchful eye of producer Irving Thalberg. Crawford was hired by Harry Rapf, another top MGM producer, who managed her early career at the studio. Rapf had little to work with except her remarkable determination. Unlike Garbo, who had some schooling at the Swedish Dramatic Academy, Crawford was untrained and did not reveal any natural screen magnetism, so her journey was more protracted. She appeared in over 25 films before stardom was hers. The first miracle in the Crawford story is that she managed to land a contract at MGM. The second miracle is that it was renewed.